Hi, this is Ash from MeeGo Experts. We're here at Mobile World Congress, MWC. It's happened, we're here. We've been lucky enough to get hold of Peter Biddle, who's General Manager of Intel Products and Services. We'd like to talk to him about MeeGo. Obviously there's a lot of passion that we feel about MeeGo, and let's get a take of Intel's view of MeeGo. What attracts you to MeeGo?
Well, I mean, first and foremost, and it's an open platform, right? It's an open source operating system. We've been investing in the Linux kernel and sort of the really fundamental underpinnings of Linux for 4 years now. If you run Linux on a daily basis, be it on an Android device, on a canonical device, on a laptop, on a tablet, if you're running Linux, there's a good chance that you're running source code that came out of the MeeGo team, because that's how open source works. It's really cool. But now, we're shifting our focus. We're still clearly going to invest in kernel and making the best solutions possible for Intel devices. But we're starting to focus on two additional layers now. We're focusing on the developer platform, and Qt is really a huge part of that. But we also have a really phenomenal set of APIs within MeeGo itself, the MeeGo native APIs. And we're also looking at great developer services. We're looking at things like push and billing and location, things that we think developers are going to be really excited about. And then, for the first time really ever, we're able to design specifically around usage models and users, a user interface, which we're developing for tablets, and then later for handsets and other devices, right, clearly. But that lets us do stuff that, frankly, we couldn't really do, couldn't do in other operating systems, and we're really excited about that. We think there's going to be a really slick and sexy user experience on top of some Intel devices powered by MeeGo.
Yeah. With MeeGo at the moment, people haven't actually seen too much traction of it on the ground as such. Because obviously the idea at the end of the day is you'll have a MeeGo TV, you'll have a MeeGo netbook, your notebook, obviously your car integration, of the applications that you've got running in them different areas. How do you see Intel fitting within that system?
Well, I mean, one thing that we all need to bear in mind is, hindsight is 20/20, and the level of patience that sort of the technology industry, and in particular sometimes the technology press, has for letting things develop, that patience is pretty short. Windows Phone is on version 7, right? iOS, the first iOS-based devices were being prototyped in the 90s. I think that, correct me if I'm wrong, but Android started with a literally cash investment of $10,000 handed to Andy Rubin in something like 2002. That was 10 years ago, right? I mean, so, we all need to bear in mind that ecosystems and complete platforms take time. So, people need to be patient. But at the same time, we're super excited with the traction we're seeing in things like AppUp and on MeeGo. Our partnership with Nokia is strong. We love those guys. There's some amazing work that's happening there. But we've got phenomenal partnerships across the ecosystem around MeeGo and around AppUp. And we'll just see more of those happen and more stuff develop there. So, just looking at, for example, the number of developers who are engaged today versus a year ago, it's an order of magnitude in growth, right? We've got, a year ago on AppUp, we had essentially a few thousand developers. We've got over 16,000 developers who have all gone to the post office and filled out the tax documentation, which, if you're a developer, that's like a big deal. It's a great, bar. And as an example, depending on who you talk to, Android's got roughly 20,000. The last number I saw that was published by Apple was 51,000 active developers in iOS. So 16,000 in AppUp is a very respectable number, and we're going to be working with that community really hands-on in driving them or helping them develop great experiences for MeeGo devices.
A lot of the sort of things, I think, obviously, you've mentioned at the moment, a lot of our viewers, readers on the website, they do share them same ideas, because obviously Android, it hasn't been too long. Within 2 years, Android's done really well.
Right. Well, but let's be clear. Like within within 2 years, I mean, Android is phenomenal success. I would do nothing to take away the amazing work that team has done and that Google has done there. But if you start if you're willing to start the clock when they started writing code, and not when the first device hit, there's a lot of stuff we just don't really think about.
Yeah.
Right. They had a closed beta.
I can appreciate the history is the. Okay. I think one of the things that I'd like to congratulate you guys is the passion that you're showing for MeeGo, because there's a lot of doubters out there, and for myself being involved with some of you guys, feeding off some of your passion, that is the thing that keeps everyone going. A lot of times people say, well, what's so different about Windows? One of my answers to that is they haven't got a community. With MeeGo, it's a community, and that's I think it's very important for people to understand as well.
Yeah, I mean, so I went to our first MeeGo conference in Dublin, right? I don't know if you were there. Were you there?
Yeah.
I mean, I was blown away. I mean, there were a ton of people there.
Yeah.
And the level of engagement, enthusiasm, and sincerity of that community was awesome. So, that was actually very inspiring to me, because I hadn't. It was our first sort of go, right? And you like when you do the kind of thing like that, you're worried that like 50 people are going to show up and you're going to have enough pizza for 1,000. And we blew the doors off, right? So that was, that was awesome. I absolutely think that things like that point to the need for a third alternative in device platforms, right? And we, sincerely believe that MeeGo is contending for that spot, right? It's going to take us time, right? It's not something you can just sort of, pull out of your hat or some other place sort of instantaneously, right? Clean it off, ship it. But we really believe that what we're building is something that our customers, our partners, our developers, and consumers all want. We go out and talk to these guys. We say, what do you need? What's most compelling to you about the existing platforms? What's missing? And we're really excited about using MeeGo to do a lot of gap filling, frankly.
Okay. I think that answers a lot of my questions. Thank you very, very much for your time. This is Ash from MeeGo Experts.
Yeah, thank you, and I hope you have a great show, and MeeGo rocks.